Hey everybody, on this episode of the AFTERBUZZ Riverdale TV show, we're breaking down Season 1, Episode 9, the Grande Illusion. Things start getting sticky this episode, and it's not just the maple syrup. Let's do it.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
What's this song though? I'm actually.
The booth is laughing at us because syrup was heavily involved.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Riverdale After Show. Of course, we're breaking down every episode of Riverdale, airing on CW on every Thursday night. I'm your host, Frank Moran. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at HappyGoJackie. I know I'm no Ben Bateman. I know you're looking at this like, man, who let this ugly guy sit in the captain's seat? I know.
Frank.
But I'll try my best to guide you through this hour. But I'm joined by two fantastic ladies who are going to help me out with this as well. Down on the front, Joelle Monique.
Hey guys, I'm Monique. Frank is amazing, and you can find me all over the internet at Joelle Monique and every week at blackgirlnerds.com.
Hey guys, I'm back and I'm Chae Jones. You can find me at Real Chae Jones on Twitter and Instagram. And this episode, guys, oh my god, I seriously, like, if I don't know if he's listening to me, but I kept saying, oh my god, those words kept coming out of my mouth, and I could not stop it because I'm just like, oh my god.
Chae,
If
the
you
real
look at her
CW
notes,
girl.
it's very shining-esque where it's just, oh my god, just written again and again and again and again and again. Oh my god,
Super
oh my god, oh my god, oh my
helpful.
god. Of course, Sam and Ben, they're on assignment, so they won't be joining us here. But as always, folks, you can like us on Facebook, give us those 5 stars on iTunes, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and of course, hop in the chat. There you go. Shay's got her computer up and running, which means the chat is up and running as well.
Has been up for like, and these theories are just, I keep laughing.
Love it.
I
So-
can't
Y'all
help
stay
it.
busy.
Jump in, share your thoughts about
That
the
is true.
series in general or this episode in particular. So we all started off. I mean, what I love about the show though is they have really created a rich backstory for this town and
Yeah.
these
Yes.
and these different families that we're seeing. And this, it starts off. I mean, the lifeblood of this town seems to be maple syrup. That's it. It's what this town was built on.
All good Canadian towns are built on maple
There you
syrup.
go. And that,
Even though
that's
they're
what's-
set like in America, but okay.
They film in Canada, so we're gonna call it a Canadian town.
And certainly the Blossoms have a stranglehold on this. And this is, I mean, you can see everybody, they do a nice little montage through town, just saying how it's just ingrained as part of everyday life for everybody in Riverdale, using that Blossom maple syrup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I'm not really a
I
maple
was just
syrup
like,
fan.
damn, I want some pancakes. I want some syrup. Like, thank you.
I
Like,
look
it just
forward
made me
to
want
the-
syrup.
I mean, I look forward to the Riverdale installments, like at maybe a Comic-Con or something, where I can figure out what this Blossom maple syrup tastes like. I didn't think that, maybe because I'm just an ignorant fool, but when they were tapping the trees and the syrup was coming out clear, I'm like, what's happening? Is syrup not naturally brown? What are we putting? I have a lot of questions about syrup now,
Preservatives?
thanks to this show.
Because I imagine, is it through the heating and it caramelizes so it turns darker? Is that the...
Maybe.
I don't know.
I actually, now that's come out clear, I actually want to know how syrup is made. Like, how do we get it, the texture and
Guys,
color it is?
We're skipping talking about Riverdale. We're diving deep into maple syrup processing.
I mean,
We're
it's a
gonna
part
find
of the
out.
town, so it's
Getting
still
into it.
Riverdale, technically, just saying. And Aaliyah Jordan in the chat missed you, Joelle.
Oh, I miss you guys, Aaliyah.
Oh,
Thank
look
you.
at that. So everybody, hop in the chat. Stop speculating about the series. Start putting down how to make maple syrup so we can break it all down for everybody. We're going to get into the nuts and bolts. So we all have that, but we realized that because of Jason's death, this has kind of really caused a ripple in both the Blossom family and the Blossom Board of Trustees, too, for this company. And when danger is afoot, the trustees want to come to town to see, do the Blossoms really have control of this corporation or not?
Okay, is it just me, or did those trustees just look, they're just a part of the Blossom family? Like, there was so many similarities. I'm just like,
They for sure
Y'all
had the
related?
uniform. I did get the sense that they were like distant relatives, because who else is, like, he addresses his like, he's like, not my grandfather, but Granddaddy Blossom, which to me suggests that maybe he was other people's granddaddies as well.
Very true.
They did not make a clear distinction as to who was who, but it wouldn't surprise me to find out that they were familial, particularly considering they know so much about Cheryl and how apparently she's just too incapable to run the company. I'm curious as to why that is. Like, maybe there's something we haven't quite learned about Cheryl yet.
Well, I think we saw it at the end of
I
this
think that's
episode.
true.
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
I mean,
that-
okay. I also partly think it's because she's a girl, and I think Cheryl's definitely the overly emotional. Regardless, as much as she tries to be the bitch and the badass and the manic person, they're worried. Like, and I think because she's just a woman, like the people were talking about her. I'm just like, I'm thinking you just want to like get them out so you can have your family come in and you take over. That's like
she did make the funeral a spectacle, though. Like, we see parts of Cheryl, and she's not on solid ground. Like, she's just making, like, these kinds of decisions where I think a normal person would be kind of worried about her. Like, are you okay? Losing your twin is a big deal. Like, she might need some additional, like, help. But I also think that perhaps before Jason was gone, she was maybe not all together with it, because it seems like it's been a while since people have felt any kind of confidence in Cheryl.
And I do not, certainly her parents do not help in that, because as everybody says this episode, Jason was, the golden child. Mm-hmm. And so when you're a twin, it's one thing if you're like older, younger siblings.
Yeah.
But to have a twin and have everybody just kind of favor the one sibling and not the other, that could really mess up that other sibling that's kind of being left out in the
like
cold.
just think about her house life. Like she has everybody, like her mom's like, you're not, you're not good, you're not your brother. And, like, I think that would make you crazy. Like, you're slowly starting to become crazy. And then you slowly start to just act like, well, if I'm not the golden child, I'm going to be the bad one and just accept it. And I think she's kind of fallen into this role the people around her created for her. And she just went off the deep end with it.
Mm. That's true. It's definitely not Cheryl. Yeah, this episode, Cheryl, she's not all there for this one.
Especially by the.
But I also wonder with the board of trustees. Like, I imagine some of them are familial, but I also wonder like some are that are just hired in.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Do they only hire redheaded people, or once they get in, they say, you know what, you have to dye your hair red and wear a lot of red as well?
It's clear they have a preference for the redheads and their like new weird obsession with Archie. So yeah, it wouldn't surprise me to be like, you're not a redhead and you need to leave.
I'm gonna keep saying this. I keep getting like Fogs and Attic, going to a season of Yesterday type feel, and it's just like I don't know if I'm creeped out, just really fascinated. Like I can't like decide. I really can't.
No, this is it very much kind of reminds me too of like, it's certainly a totally different tone, but like Get Out, when all those members they descend upon the one house to see what's going to be happening, and basically just sussing out everybody's weaknesses. Everybody's just sniffing for an opportunity to come in and knock out Clifford and the rest of the Blossom family.
Yeah, I totally get that. The total disregard for human life. Like, these are parents who lost their kid no matter what you think of them, and for them to be so vulturistic in their attitudes of like, she wasn't even crying real tears, and like his son got a girl knocked up so he can't control his family. I'm like, are you looking for someone who knows business or someone who is like an authoritative figure in all aspects of their life?
Right?
Like, it's weird.
Like family life and business, like I think especially for the Blossoms, are two separate things, and that's how they kind of see it too.
Well, but appearance is everything for the Blossoms. Yeah. So, and for them, when you conveniently have, you've lost your son, but you conveniently have somebody in town that looks very similar to your son, mm-hmm. and right now you've got everybody surrounding you looking for a moment of weakness. Why not reach out to that person that looks very similar to your son, to your sibling, to your brother, and say, hey, why don't you hang out with us for this whole big festival to salute maple syrup, and maybe we can kind of groom you to be almost like an arrangement with Archie Andrews.
He's definitely the golden boy of Riverdale. He plays football. He is good and kind. He sticks up for their daughter. They can get him into music in the way that he wants to be so that he can be successful. He's an easy pawn to play, and Archie played right into it.
I will play devil's advocate on this real quick. Not because I disagree, but only because I need to point out some flaws right now. As good as Archie is, dude, you stupid. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm just like, I'm listening to Mrs. Blossom talking. I'm just like, I legit wrote, like, she's blackmailing you, whether you notice or not. Like, you're being blackmailed right now. And either you're just...
Ronnie tried to tell him.
No, Fred tried to tell him. Everybody tried to tell this dude.
His dad did, that's true.
Valerie, you lost a girlfriend because you're stupid.
Oh.
Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm just like, I think Archie was so stupid in this episode. Like, for many reasons. I'm like, I understand, like, music is really important to you, and I understand how... I was like, okay, this is a win. He's gonna try to not go to music school. He's gonna try to save his dad's, business, because that's important. But I'm just like, dude, you don't realize these people don't care about you. They're all about their own agenda. They will tell you whatever they need to tell you to get you to do what they want.
But this continues to be Archie's biggest flaw, which is that he's just short-sighted. I mean, even, like, his whole relationship with the teacher where he blows off his best friend to, like, bum rushing things like with the snakes when it's just like you could chill and take 2 seconds to think and address somebody. Or we always see him sneaking out of the house instead of just talking to his dad about what's plaguing him. Like, Archie doesn't think, he reacts, which is what's going to continue to get him into trouble until he can make some adjustments.
Because I think he's an all-in or all-out person.
Well, certainly in something like this, that people can react two ways. If your friends are all telling you, and your family are telling you one thing, like, don't do this, you can listen to that advice, and other people say, you know what, I know that it's wrong, but I feel like I'm the exception. I can make this work. And I feel like for Archie, I think he felt in this moment like, you know what, I know it's bad, but I also feel like I can make this work for me. I won't succumb to what you all think is going to happen for this. And Archie does not.
I just thought his whole defending of the Blossoms was just like, dude.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I feel like Archie does want to see the best in people. I mean, and it was interesting how people, especially like Clifford, was like really saluting his character. And Cheryl's mom was really saluting his character. And that has come a long way this season for Archie, but certainly at the beginning of this season, Archie was not the most stand-up guy around at all.
True.
And so he still does have his flaws, but he's definitely come a long way in terms of wanting to also like willing to sacrifice this opportunity to try to get his father help as well. So things that I don't think Archie would have been so focused on at the beginning of the series.
Definitely.
Ooh. Sorry, I have a theory now.
Oh, Chae, go ahead.
So it's somebody so large knows. It's obvious now Hiram was the one who ordered the kidnapping of Jason. He probably tried to get away and was killed and then put it in the freezer. But the question is, who took the body out of the freezer?
I don't know.
I like that theory.
Yeah, that's
I
not
love
bad
that
one.
theory, right? Thank you. We love that theory.
Yeah, although, I mean, just to jump to that, if you make Hiram the one behind it, which I feel like, I think by the end of it, everybody's going to have one little piece of the puzzle. There's going to be a lot of it that people are going to touch different aspects of this whole thing, what happened with Jason. But who ultimately is the one responsible for it? That'll be the one thing I guess we'll have to wait and see.
So, like, everybody, in a way, was the reason behind it, but only one person was the actual killer.
I think so. Yeah, but I feel like Hiram, he's set up to be such a bad guy that I feel like putting this on him is too easy, because I feel like that's a character that you can see coming in season 2.
Yeah.
He's going to work the system. Something's going to happen where he's going to be able to get out and come back to Riverdale, and you're going to see him in the flesh and blood wanting to come back and wreak vengeance upon the people who have done him wrong in Riverdale.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I definitely see that.
Yeah, so to have him be behind Jason's murder, then I feel like then he's completely off campus, and we never get to have that satisfaction of seeing him come to
I'm
death.
still not unconvinced it's Betty's mother. Like,
I'm not
every week,
convinced it's Hal. I'm sorry.
like, I mean, Betty's mom, like, last week was showing some good signs for me. I was like, all right, I feel it. We're coming. She's being a good mom. We see, like, why she maybe made some of the decisions and repeating her daughter's repeating mistakes she made. So she's extra hard on her. Totally got it this week, throwing bricks through windows and stuff. I was like, girl, you have no control over your emotions.
No, Alice is
No.
one tight.
I think, I actually loved her in this episode. I'm not even gonna trip. I just, it was the first time I'm like, you actually seem like a mother. Like, you're actually feeling like...
Wait, more than last week?
No, because, and I say this because, leading up to last week, it was a nice, opening, and we actually saw emotion, which we have not seen. So I think this one, the whole bottle has been uncorked, and all these emotions just kept so tightly are now just, running rampant, and she doesn't really know what to do with it. Though I'm not gonna trip that Hal kind of did not deserve... I was thinking some, Waiting to Exhale vibes. I'm just okay, he kind of deserved it. Because I'm like, dude, what you're doing is messing with my child. And that's something, no matter how mean she is, she does care about Polly so much. And you're fucking with her child.
Yeah, he got petty, too, when he fired her.
No,
That was super petty.
But I mean, I guess he also had a point too that he was just not going to run a slander piece too, just in the hopes that it was going to try to be as a way of. I mean, I think you definitely just can't run it. He'd have to go over it and just kind of edit it and look at it and just kind of vet this. He just can't go and let Alice go all right, just throw whatever you want up on the website or the
Absolutely.
on the paper.
I totally agree with that. But you could have given her some leash to do some research, to write a good article. I mean, it's newsworthy if your town is built on a maple syrup empire and there's going to be a changeover at the top. That's newsworthy. And for him to just not hear her out, for him to be so oh, you threw me out, so now I'm throwing you out. I'm like, son, really? Really? Because you know what? It's not like you didn't deserve to be kicked out. You made lies and deals behind your wife's back concerning your daughter's life. I'm with you. He can go.
Yeah, I'm sorry. No, and then I think what most pissed me. I know you want to kind of defend him real quick, but let me tell you, he just really pissed me off. I was just dude, what she's bringing to you could actually bring down the Blossoms, which is what you wanted. So you're not hearing this. Like, we can bring down the Blossoms together if we really want it, but you're still pissed or angry because I threw you out. Like, that's actually really petty and childish.
No, I don't think anybody in the Cooper family, at least Alice and Al, nobody's wanting to be the better person in this. There's too much history between the two of them. In moments like this, they're not. One of them's not going to like. You know what? You're right. No, they're just going to be two just people that are just going to keep butting heads for this.
Man, no love in the Cooper house.
No, and I just feel bad for Betty. Like, I love that Betty and Jughead scene because I'm just like, I'm actually seeing like this real relationship. Like, in moments, just not like her getting an epiphany after they kiss or something like that. Him actually just like, you're the only person who is stronger than your parents, and you need to realize that. And I love that fact that he was so in her corner for that.
As somebody who was initially down on this relationship, it is growing on me.
Yay!
They're very sweet together. They seem to care for each other a lot. They have a healthy relationship. They communicate well. I will enjoy it for now.
True. I mean, there's going to be something that happens that's going to split them up at some point. I don't think it's going to be this season. I don't think. But I could see it. I don't think you could run season 2 without something happening between the two of them.
Absolutely.
To kind of restore it to just like, we're just good friends now. Which is kind of disappointing because right now this dynamic is kind of interesting between the two of them.
Yeah.
So back to Cheryl and Archie right here. The whole like Blossom maple tapping. Were we going to see Archie stand up for Cheryl?
Yeah.
As he gets to hear some people really speak down about like, they really can't think that Cheryl is capable of running this company. And I do like that even Cheryl, like, as Archie's like giving her props, like, don't forget I have a 4.0.
I know, that's my favorite part.
So precious.
Like, I'm just like, I'm actually surprised she has a 4.0. I was actually like, okay, so you got a 4.0. Dang, Cheryl, you got a lot going for you, but you need to stop being so evil. Like, I think once you stop being, I personally think if she actually used her evil for some good, her life would be exponential.
Exponentially better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that is not a family that would let you come home with less than a 4.0.
That is true.
There's no way they would let you do. They would reach you the riot act if you came back with just an A-. Like, what have you done? That's not you. You came with an A-. Get it together.
Yeah, it's not a fun house.
No.
And there's so much like even like Clifford and Cheryl's mom do not have much confidence in her being able to tap that tree. They were just like, this is not gonna happen.
It's so crazy to me. She's been doing this since she was a child. Like, I just don't know where that level of like why have no confidence in her. Like, she's literally capable of a lot and she has moments, but for the most part, Cheryl shows up. She does what she's supposed to. I don't understand the inside hate. I understand why people from the outside of the family are like, boo Cheryl. But inside the family, I think you'd be proud of her.
I will say, though, I am a sucker, though, for when Cheryl's mom calls Archie Archibald. There's just something about that.
I know,
like,
actually, I was like,
yeah,
I kind of like, no, but I was like, Cheryl was like, Archie kids, I'm like, that is Veronica's thing. Leave it alone. Let that be her thing. Because it sounds so weird coming out of, like, Cheryl's mouth, and then at the end she called Polly Pollykins. I'm just like, you planning something right now. It's gonna be hella big. That's all I know. Like, I'm just like, she's scratching stuff like you painting red. I'm like, why you want to get rid of Polly? What did Polly do? He don't want Polly.
As far as we know so far, yeah, I was kind of shocked how much Cheryl was into Archie. I honestly thought this was like a beard cover. Like, I just need some guy to stand next to me in front of all of these people.
Well, certainly for her I think for her mother and father, it definitely was that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. Cheryl does. I mean, she definitely does a plan to smooch on him. I mean, because I think she says like probably one of the most stand-up people left in Riverdale.
Yeah, well, and we see
Chae?
these.
No poker face on Chae. Do not play poker with Chae.
No, this person right here, Carlos Fernando says, what if Cheryl is adopted and not a true Blossom?
But then
But they're
twins?
Like you could say they're twins. That doesn't necessarily like mean it. But like if that's the case, like I'm
That's
just
good
like
baby finding.
right.
You gotta find them at the same age at least within
Within a
weeks or a
year,
few months
yeah.
of each other, and then they gotta look the same and grow up looking
Yeah, and I
the
don't
same.
have a poker
Yeah.
face. I don't even play poker, so
I mean, maybe.
And
but
then she's
I,
not really a real redhead, so while she sleeps, they have to dye her hair. so she always wakes up like
I
as a
love
redhead.
it.
No,
I like that Cheryl was giving Archie so many gifts, especially the Les Paul, which, hey, Cheryl, if you just want to give people gifts, I'm around. But I especially like the juxtaposition between that and what Veronica was going through with her folks, and like both presents were not given in the spirit of like good gifting. Like they were not given like because I want you to have it and I think you deserve it. They both come from places of guilt and control. And I think it's interesting to see how Cheryl kind of falls into that wealthy cap sometimes. Sometimes it's easy to forget, like she's just another teenager.
Yeah, but I don't know if I mean I certainly feel like Veronica's was guilt, but I don't know if necessarily it was control, because I definitely feel like she was trying to make some sort of amends, like really overcompensate for the tragedy that had kind of befallen her family, in no small part to her father's business dealings with Ethel's dad.
I actually agree, because she actually felt bad. Like she's in like this. I was so happy because I'm so sick of Veronica defending her dad. Because I'm just like, I need you to open your eyes, baby girl. Please open your eyes to see just who he is. Yeah. And I think for the first time, she's actually opened her eyes.
I don't think Veronica's was malicious control, but it was certainly a narrative control situation. Like, she didn't want to be the person she was in New York when she was treating that other girl badly. No. And I think part of it was, well, if I can get the girl who's essentially a replacement of that girl for me to like me, then my wrongdoings, my past can be washed away, and I'll control the fact that she likes me now. Like, I'll be seen as the good person. So I don't think it was malicious or mean, but I definitely think she's not using the gifts in the best of spirits.
But I will give it up for Veronica for realizing the error of her ways.
Yeah.
To realize what she'd done to that girl back in at her old high school, and realizing, I can see a cry for help, and I swore I would never let something like that slip by me again.
She's definitely growing.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like, I really like the journey that Veronica's taken through the series so far.
Me too.
It's not what I would have expected, and I like the different shades that she's given.
Because I mean, like, even in the first episode, she said she wanted to be a different person. So I actually like the fact that she's actually sticking to it. Like, she doesn't want to be the same girl she was in New York, and she wants to be this person who can make friends, and just true friends though, and not like, and like, I love how she noticed the signs that was happening. I feel like nobody else even cared what, like, Ethel's poem. Like, I was even moved by that poem, and I'm just like, do you need a hug? Yeah. Can I give you a hug? Can I take you out to dinner? Like, what's going on? Like, I just wanted to know.
I feel like the smartest move the series made was not to really focus on the triangle between Betty, Veronica, and Archie. It was kind of touched on at the beginning, but then they just dropped that and allow these characters just to grow in other ways. They have no way. It doesn't depend on the relationships, romantic relationships with each other, which I really enjoy.
They're real people. What? Yeah. Exciting.
Yeah, Ethel's poem though. Oof,
that's some heavy stuff.
Yeah, I don't know if to get up in front of school and do some kind of like a somewhat veiled cry for help, and
it's very 10 things I hate about you, but less
actually
romantic
right now it's
and
very
sweet.
13 Reasons Why.
There's no sexy Heath Ledger to run after hot Julia Stiles. It's definitely more sad, although that poem was much sadder. We don't have to talk about 13 Reasons Why.
Guys, check out tomorrow. That's all I have to say. We have 3 special guests, and you're not gonna want to miss it if you watch us.
All right.
But that's not my only plug for that right now.
Now, Archie does loop over in a couple stories. In addition to everything that's going on with Cheryl, Betty needs his help as well too, because if he's going to be hanging out with the Blossoms, Polly's been kind of giving Betty the cold shoulder, especially how tight they were.
Yeah.
She can understand why Polly might be distant with her parents, but like, why being down with me? I've always had your back for this.
I like how salty Miss Cooper still is to Archie, even when he's doing her a favor. She's still like, oh, who would have thought Archie would be the one helping us? I'm like, can you not be grateful for anything? Anything? And I am also confused as to why poor Betty's being let out in the cold. Betty didn't do jack. She's been there and helpful and supportive. I'm confused still.
No, but we do find out the reason why for that is at the big Maple banquet. Archie's there talking to Polly. Polly takes a dance with Archie and says, you got to stop asking Betty to tell Cheryl to pass messages on to me. That's got to stop. Because the reason I'm here is that I believe that the Blossom family has something to do with Jason's death. And so I got to look like I'm all in on their side. Otherwise, they're going to freeze me out as well. And I can't really get to the truth of what happened to Jason's death.
Okay, so that part was a little... So she feels that if Betty is around, they won't trust her. And so by isolating herself within the family, that she can gain their trust to learn their secrets.
Yeah, she wants to feel like she's all Team Blossom right now. And the Coopers, take a hike.
Okay.
I've got Jason's baby. You guys let me live with you. I am... you just pretty much just call me Polly Blossom right now.
Man, I get it totally, but I also feel like by alienating the connections outside, like... You're pregnant, you could get too close to something, they find out and trick you. Like, I just wish she had one person on the outside, like with a walkie-talkie or something, Stranger Things style, where she could just be like...
Like a can and a string?
Well, no, like actual physical walkie-talkies.
I know,
be like things are going down. You need to come into this scary ass mansion and save my pregnant ass. Like, this is not safe.
SOS. I'm twin this right now, and I really need a SOS. But I think it's interesting that like how crazy they made the grandmother sound, like with her dementia and this other and other. But she predicted her having twins, so like the grandmother definitely knows something that she's not saying.
Yeah, you know, and Cheryl is. There's so many shades to Cheryl because the way that she was acting about like we got to do what's best for with Polly because she's carrying Jason's child. I'm Betty. I'm here to help. Well, why don't we work together? To now that it's almost like we won. We got Polly. So who cares about you guys anymore? So that when Betty says, is talking to Cheryl, and Cheryl just drops, oh yeah, she's got twins. And Betty asks, can you just pass this message to Polly? Tell her to call her mom because she really misses her. Like I'll try to remember. We'll see if I can. Like she really is not giving like any thought to really wanting to help Betty or the Coopers out at all. Like, come on. You can't cut them out completely, Cheryl. Look at that. Don't be a monster.
She's Team Blossom for life, man. Like,
no, that's true.
As much as her family disowns her, I think she would do anything to become the golden child that they want her to be.
Yep.
And part of that is, hating the Coopers. So I honestly feel like she's just playing really heavily into the role, again, that has been created for her. And she's just... It's got to be a challenge to be hated by everybody. That's
true. I give it up for Jughead for standing by Betty, though, when Cheryl's like, I'll see what I can do if I remember to pass her that message. And then when he says, Cheryl, it's just, I wasn't serious, you hobo. Like, you hobo.
Actually, that part,
like I
love that one. That was actually funny. No, but like Cheryl coming on to Archie at the end, and I'm just like, okay. Like, I'm trying to figure out her end goal. Like, and I think that's the one thing I cannot get into the mind of Cheryl. And it really upsets me right now because I'm just like, what was your purpose? And she's like, that was maple red, in case you were wondering why they taste so sweet.
Ugh, yeah.
Like,
thanks. If I got to tell you what my lipstick color is, tastes like, all right, pass.
Yeah,
and like, and then you get mad at him because he has to leave. I'm like, well, he just discovered this whole thing, but he can't tell you because... what you're going to do, that information he does not know. Well,
it's also not necessarily that, but he's also realizing that, yes, if I keep going down this path, it's like, I mean, your father basically just said, hey, we want to do a kind of an arranged relationship between you and our daughter, where you would just stand by there and be like a great, salt of the community kind of pillar next to her, yes. Which I could say, like, Archie's like, no, this is not, I don't want to be...
I'm 17 in 2017, and this is not all the life I had planned for myself.
No, not at all, yes.
Get it together.
What I do give Cheryl props for, I think the only couple things I'll give her props for in this episode is the fact that she was like, you're the only person who doesn't want anything from me. And I think that's like true. Archie doesn't want anything from you, but like you do want something from our parents. And I love at the end how Valerie calls him out. It was needed to be said, and he needed to hear it.
No, that's a shame. Valerie said like, you know what? Yeah, you can't buy me off like the Blossoms tried to do to you. So, yeah, there's no like getting back with me. I'm done. See you later, Archie. Do you feel like
my second favorite shit?
No,
are Archie and Val done?
No, she was like after that promo, yeah. She threw the drink on him. Yeah, they're done.
I mean, throwing a drink is just the first step to getting back together, really.
No, this is what she said. She said this is what she said. Word for word. You ignored me. You ditched me. And now you just expect me to be fine again just because you're coming back? No, I can't be bought.
Yeah, see, now the only thing I have with that is like, because Archie was upfront with her about everything that was happening in this episode. He wasn't trying to run around her, wasn't trying to not fill her in on what was happening. Not that what he was doing was right, but he wasn't trying to be duplicitous with Val.
Yeah.
And I feel like any of the episodes leading up to this too, I never really felt like Archie was ignoring Val. They never really played it up.
He was ignoring her. I don't know what you were watching, but that was he kept ditching her.
When? There was never any time where it's like, Val, I got to go, bye. We never saw him like deliberately run out on her.
Okay, maybe it's just me, and I'm just, because I was just looking at signs. I'm just like, because Archie seems to be interested in Val, but only when it's convenient for Archie. At the same time,
we haven't seen them around each other enough for me to come to that conclusion. when they're together, they seem together, and then when they're not, they're just not. And it seems like a typical high school relationship to me, where it's like we kind of hung out when we had time, and then we were like, we're not really into this. So then we drifted apart.
Yeah.
I don't
but
put
you
too
have to
much
admit,
stock
Cheryl
in
was
the
a catalyst
relationship.
for that. Like she kind of like she put the bug in Valerie's ear, and like after like Archie is like, yeah, it's just gonna be this one thing, and they're gonna help me with getting into music school, helping my dad. Like for her, that was just like, you don't see why that's wrong. And I think for her, that was like a morally like just her breaking point. Like I can't be with you because you're not understanding what's even going on around you and how bought you're being right now.
No, I can understand that, but I also feel like her saying, yeah, because we didn't see enough scenes of them together in this episode to make me really feel the brunt of them. This breakup hit a little bit harder than I felt like the writers wanted it to. Like, because everything other than like that super brief scene of Cheryl talking to Val for just a hot second, and then it cut immediately to Val talking to Archie. We never really saw them much together in this episode to really make me feel like we're all hearing secondhand about how Val was cool with this. Val was cool with this, but we never actually get to see those conversations with Val.
Yeah, I feel like one scene at the top where Val is like, yeah, sure, it's okay. And we get this feeling of like uncertainty with her. And I could understand why she would be like, you keep choosing her over me, and I don't understand this, and they are trying to buy you. But we didn't get that, and so it felt kind of hollow.
Yeah.
Two things. So Large Nose says Val was being completely ignored, and Archie was using her to vent and rant. And then Sky Patterson agrees with me, saying correct. Archie only likes Val when it benefits him.
I don't see it, guys, but you see it, and that's what matters. Headcanons are important.
Wow, look at that.
Headcanons are important, okay? I have whole separate storylines for what actually happened. But yeah, I do feel like Val probably made the best decision for her in this moment, and I'm not upset about it. I just hope that this doesn't cause her to lose screen time, because she's one of my favorite characters on the show.
She would be in next week's episode, so I don't think she's losing it. Maybe we have like 4 episodes left, so I mean, we'll see.
We can only hope for that Josie and the Pussycat spinoff.
Yeah.
So, there you go.
Please, because I want to be a Josie and a Pussycat.
Yeah? Oh, all right, there you go.
This is my audition right here.
So we do have Ethel's. We find out that Ethel's father, even though Veronica's really concerned about Ethel maybe being suicidal, it turns out that her father accidentally overdosed. Well, not so much accidentally, but kind of ODs on some pills. Does survive though, but Veronica and Betty go visit the hospital, and she does bring some flowers, and it was fine enough. Veronica just kind of left the flowers, said her condolences, and kind of left. But she decided to be straight up with them and tell them who she really was. And certainly Ethel's mom, not a huge fan, because the Lodges and the Muggs have got a troublesome history.
Yeah, they do. I love the family drama. I'm hoping for at the end, like if you guys are big Sleepy Hollow fans, they have the whole family tree and how everybody's married into everybody, and then that family tree shows how everybody wound up screwing everybody else over. I need that moment to happen at the end of this season where we get like a family tree history of Riverdale, and we can start drawing the lines of like who crossed who and who owes what, because we know that Mary's in some duplicitous stuff, the Blossoms and the Lodges, obviously, the Muggs, and now even not Archie's family, but the Coopers are all intertwined and mixed in the drama. And I want a clear map. I'd also like the mayor to get back in, because I feel like politics is the last thing missing. We got the business corruption, the family corruption. Now I need the political corruption, and I need it all to explode.
That's true.
One thing, I'm going to go back, and then we're going to continue. But Celeste, or I hope I said this right, Ortuno, he said us not seeing them together or even seeing enough of Valerie, I think is the point the writers were trying to make, that she was feeling ignored.
Yeah, but I felt like then I needed to have Archie name check that, because everything he was saying that Val's cool with this. I told Val, and she's cool with this. And maybe she really wasn't cool, but we never saw that. So we're only hearing it from Archie's point of view, which makes us like we have no reason to doubt that. Okay. So I felt like at least give us a scene where we can see Archie misreading that and thinking that Val's cool with it, and we know by the way Val's acting like, I am not cool with this, but I'm just going along with it for the moment.
Yeah.
We never really get to see that.
Some people in the chat really want to see Miss Grundy to come back because they believe Jason and Miss Grundy got it out.
Oh, well.
I'm also in that fan club where I'm not a fan of that action.
Go, Jason Grundy.
Let me be very clear. I feel like that happened between the two of them. And I do think when she left with her Lolita glasses, that she was not done causing wreckage and havoc amongst her students. So I do expect to see her back, hopefully soon.
Now, one relationship that also kind of fractured this episode too was between Hermione and Fred Andrews as well.
Yes.
Hermione's up front with him finally and says, guess what? The Lodges are behind this whole development project. And Fred's like, I'm out. See you later. Deuces. I'm gone. And ends up coming back around once he finds out that basically the Blossoms aren't really good either. Archie fills them in a little bit what they've been doing with his development. So he's going to help out Hermione, but it's not completely altruistic. He wants a little stake in the game. He wants 20% of this development project.
Yeah.
This is my thing on Fred right now. I think he's being not over dramatic, but I'm just like, dude, she did admit it, and she is coming to you. So that, nope. I mean, that doesn't mean, I don't feel like that should mean like you can't still be together.
Nope. Done. Here's why. Don't F with my money. Don't F with my money. Agree. This is his whole livelihood. It's what he's planning to send Archie to college on. It's literally all of his business. And not only that, but you put his kid in danger because you got him involved with gangsters. Like, it's not like he made like a bad bank deal, which can be awful in and of itself, but it's a bad financial deal on top of now being involved between two like warring factions, essentially, of a lot of power. It's something that he didn't want at all, and you told him at the very last possible minute. I was really proud that Fred was like, look, this is the best decision business-wise going forward. I'm going to get my 20% cut, and then you and me are done because this is ridiculous. She put him in the worst possible position.
But, like, she did it because she wanted to make everything legit. Like, and she knows Fred is a really good worker.
That's not legit, though. You didn't do it in a clean way.
Okay, getting the land, yes, but hiring him and keeping it all above board, yes.
But it wasn't all above board. Teens got beat up.
I said above. First of all, that's not even, like, Fred's fault. That's Blossom's fault.
No, didn't they say that Hiram sent them after he found out about the money?
Okay,
Clifford hired the crew, and then Hiram sent the guys to rough up.
Then it's Hiram's fault. Let's blame Hiram.
Right, but she got him involved with Hiram. He did not know he was making a deal with Hiram's money, or he wouldn't have taken it. And yes, his business would have foreclosed upon, but he could have done that just fine and figured out his money situation from there. I honestly feel like she kind of hung him out to dry, and now all insinuating drama goes directly back to her because she just wasn't honest and upfront about it. And that's not a good place to start a relationship from.
That is true. I want them to fix each other. I want them to be back.
I don't think it's the last time we've seen those two kind of circle that romantic orbit. We just need a little friction right now, and eventually that romantic tension is gonna completely kind of come back around together, and we'll get some sweet Hermione Fred action. And so some sweet Hermione Fred action.
No, because you said that, like, Aaliyah Jordan said she can't wait for Betty and Jughead to break the bed.
Really?
Okay.
But I don't like. It makes me laugh. I'm just like, they're still teenagers. I don't think either knows how to break a bed. Let's be real.
Also, no.
So
she'll save it for Archie. We'll leave it at that.
we end up towards the end of the episode where while Archie's there at the Maple Banquet, does overhear a piece of dialogue about, as we mentioned briefly, that Clifford was responsible for sending Hiram to jail. And it's like, we didn't realize, basically saying that the drive-thru's almost his, and that they didn't realize that Hermione was going to be so formidable. And it's like, Cheryl's mom throws out the joke, like, we probably should have sent her to jail instead of Hiram. And Archie hears this and goes and tells Betty and Jughead.
Yeah, he does.
And so basically Jughead sees that is a motive for murder. Because basically they destroyed part of Hiram's relationship. So what do you want to do? You want to go back and destroy part of Clifford's.
So does that mean like the Blossoms are... Well, obviously they're to blame because they sent him to jail, but they're the reason for their financial ruin.
They are.
Absolutely.
So why not ruin them by taking out their golden boy? A possible motive. But I think it's too obvious.
I'm going to say this, because if he did it, he definitely did it so he would never get his hands dirty. Like, he's the type of person who would hire and leave somebody else, like the fall guy.
Yeah, I don't think, just like I was saying before, Hiram's, I think, he's been alluded to and built up so much that we can't help but we need to see him.
Yeah.
And we are going to see him. So, yeah. But one other thing, too, and we talked about this a little briefly before the show started. So when Alice is fired by Hal from the paper, Jughead and Betty say, you know what, come work with us at the school newspaper and keep writing about this story about the Blossoms.
Tell us how you feel about it, Frank.
This is ridiculous. Come on. I know this is a small town, but still. I'm going to go work at a high school newspaper to crack this really important story. Get out of here.
Well, it's not like she can, like, that's the only newspaper in town. That is actual newspaper is where she worked. So
you also have a connection to the internet. You know, there's many ways you can get that story out. Does not require you to go to a high school.
I think it's a sweet way for a mother to work with her daughter, Frank.
Come
think it's precious. And Jughead is proving to be a pretty good writer. So, you know, if we can get into the little early predictions, I feel like they're going to win a Pulitzer for uncovering the mystery of Riverdale. And it goes to the high school. It'll be the first time ever. Groundbreaking.
Do I want to see a scene of Alice there in the high school newspaper room? They're just like,
Yeah, you do.
I actually do.
Probably smoking
I
a
do.
cigarette and drinking some coffee.
No, and if, like, no, for real, like, but if that's the case, like, let's have her doing, like, one of those Betty Davis, like, long ones, and just, like, oh, yes, darling, like, just, like, for, like, nostalgia, and just, like, yes!
I don't know. And fans tell me in the chat I could be completely wrong on this, but man, I felt that was such a ridiculous moment. I'm like, this cannot be serious. Like,
It'll definitely depend on how they play it.
I mean, everybody played it like very sincerely, but it's still so bonkers that you would tell, "Hey, mom, come work with the school newspaper and write this story."
Ooh, somebody was like, she could be a teacher too. Sarah R said she could be a teacher too, so she could try to sub into the school for a reason to be there, and like, so if she's there after school, like,
I really just want it to be here's why it's awesome. Women are so often told, like, you're crazy. That story will never work. Like, you can't do it. And so for her to go and work with these two teens to solve a mystery, like, it feels Riverdale appropriate, Frank. It's ridiculous, but it's amazing.
That's too bonkers to me. To go see Alice. Oh my gosh. All right.
Somebody said she could be a freelancer like Eddie Rock, or is that Peter? Because I don't even know what that means. Black Jones, I really don't. What does that even mean?
Like Eddie Brock. We're talking about Venom, the character Venom that was on the Spider-Man universe.
Oh,
We're talking about freelancers. So we're placing say like Jughead is like J. Jonah Jameson right now. That's what you're saying. All right.
Yes, he pays her every week, and it's amazing.
Oh, that is just so crazy.
They can start a website or a blog.
That's what I'm saying. You've got the internet right there. You don't need to go work at a school newspaper. You just stay at home on your computer, post right there. There you go.
Even though this is so off topic, everybody's like, I want to see more Moose and Kevin.
I also miss Moose and Kevin.
I do too.
More
even though, like, I want to
know
know what Keenan will have to say, because, like, even though, like, we know he's, like, kind of playing both sides, like, he actually does seem to have feelings for Kevin, so he might take a claim for his man. I'm sorry. He will, like, I don't care if your name is Moose, I will knock you down.
No, it was nice to see Moose last episode, because I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about Moose.
He made a pass. I'll rewatch it. Like, he kind of made like a little thing to Kevin a little bit.
Sure
You're
did.
just like,
And
okay.
Kevin said, I see you, but not today, sir. It's fabulous.
All right, so Joelle teased us with some predictions, or why don't we just go full jump into some predictions there?
Yes.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV.
Predictions. Magic.
Magic. Well, Sabrina's coming. We know she's coming. I cannot wait for this to happen. That I'm actually really excited about that. Just to see how this show and this reality kind of treats that. Does it go just completely bonkers with it? It'll be interesting to see how they approach this. But for me, this high school newspaper nonsense, it can't last. It cannot last. I think it's got to be at least an episode, and then Alice has realized, like, what am I doing? This is ridiculous. Why am I at a high school newspaper? I can just stay at home and use the internet and get the story out. I feel like that's got to be Alice's journey to the next episode. She can't last more than one episode working at a high school newspaper.
Well, I really hope it does last more than one episode, because here's why: mother-daughter relationships are really explored in a business way, and I've really enjoyed on Grace and Frankie. They're exploring that. What is it like to work with your mother as your boss? We get a lot of fathers and sons. I really want to see how now, like, Miss Cooper's not the boss; like, she's just another, like, reporter. So seeing her try to work with Betty would be a lot of fun. Don't give me that look, Frank.
I love that we're putting these like professional kind of qualifications on a high school structure.
Yeah,
like, yes.
I think the one thing is lucky is just it's high school. I think more than anything else, it's just the high school part of that really bugs the hell out of you.
It's just because it's so crazy. There's no reason that a grown woman in her 40s is like, you know what? I got to go back to high school and I got to write this story. This is the only way. This is the only way that I can get this story out there. Get out of here.
Well, since we're talking about theories, Work of Art 6 says, what if the Blossom / Jason's killer was trying to kill Cheryl, but Jason was found listening to the plotting on the way to the running away, so he was kidnapped and shot while protecting her? Though my question would be, why did you wait so long to exact your revenge on Cheryl after?
My other question would be, like, Cheryl genuinely seems to have no idea when her brother died. Like, she thought he got away, and she was kind of faking, and she wasn't really sure, and then we found the body, like, it kind of hit her for real, so I'm still not quite, my money's still on Miss Cooper, because she has the most batshit crazy, like, responses to things. But for next week, I really want to see Cheryl dive more into her villainy. Like, I would want her to be full villainous, like, queen bee, because she's trying to, you know, get people to like her here and there, and trying to work her charms on Archie. Now that the whole relationship with Archie has fallen through, I'm ready to see her be like, I don't care about anyone anymore. You may all bow at my feet.
I feel like it's like with Cheryl, it's like, I want you on my terms, and if you don't agree with it, then you are dead to me.
Yeah.
And we see that at the end of the episode when she
too.
starts crossing out Archie's picture, our face on the picture, she starts crossing out Polly, which, as you're bringing up, like, I still don't understand, like, why Polly, other than, I mean, they seem to have been friendly, especially since she's carrying Jason's kids.
Yeah.
But she just pops her head in and says, "Oh, good night," and then it's like, "No, you're out of this picture." So Polly has done something wrong to Cheryl.
I vote for Hal personally. I don't know, because, like, as much as we talk about Alice, like, his like, he only got, like, a little bit crazy, like, last week's episode, but, like, dude got some crazy, and I'm waiting on that stuff to get unleashed.
Well, like, as we're talking about, as I mentioned last week, I mean, it's in the blood for him. I mean, that's something he was just raised and nurtured. That, I mean, that you do not like the Blossoms. They killed our great grandpappy. So, like, once you did that, like, everybody from now on is always going to hate the Blossoms. I feel like he's just indoctrinated into that. So I can see why he's so reluctant.
Ooh. Yeah, my poker face sucks. Prediction was like Cheryl might try to intentionally mess with Polly's babies. That'd be super cruel.
I don't think so, because, like, that's her only lifeline to Jason.
And they're twins.
Yeah.
She was excited about that.
But I do think she would try to get rid of Polly and keep the twins.
I believe it. I think that's a growing prediction. Like, something is gonna, like, them babies are either taken away, sold, adopted, like, hidden from her, and she's just gonna, like, be momless. Like, I have no doubt about that.
No, as long as she stays with the Blossoms, she will not be going home with those babies.
Yeah.
No.
And quick thing, because everybody's like Molly Ringwald, they can't get over it, and like so they're wondering, is she a good mom or a bad mom?
Ooh. In keeping with the tradition of the show, I think she'll be somewhere in between. Probably the free spirit mom who had to go capture her dream before it came too late, who left her family behind in order to accomplish that goal. That's where I think we're at.
Yeah, because so far I've never really heard, like, any bad talk about Archie's mom by either Archie or Fred. So nothing really. So I feel like it's not, you know, every relationship has their issues for why they split, but I don't feel like it's something it's not some, like, source of intense contention, at least as it's been portrayed so far.
I think my theory on why she left is like she just felt unfulfilled. Like, why? I think I was thinking something when parents, especially if you're a mom and you're the one who decides to leave, why you don't think about taking your child or at least reaching out, because she's been gone for what, like a year and a half, and like so far Archie hasn't heard anything. Well,
she had this fantasy of getting together with the high school quarterback, and you know she had to follow her dream. She wanted to sit on a table across from him and have a little candle between them.
Oh boy!
Yeah, that's all she wanted. That's all she wanted.
Gross.
See Fred, see Archie. I gotta get out of here. But I did one thing I liked about Alice, because so far this series, she's been like so bonkers in sometimes where she's the way that she her relationship with Betty.
Yes.
And like this episode was just nice to see, even though she was really wound up about, and I feel like a lot of it had to do with her relationship with Polly, but at least you saw just more human sides of Alice, which was really nice to see, because it's made me like her more, because I really was not a huge fan of her character at the beginning of the season.
I don't know how I feel about how she just busted it on Jughead and Betty. I'm still kind of like,
oh, she's the mom, and y'all are children in her house. So, in my house, my mother could open whatever door she wanted to. She did not have to ask permission. It was her house. So. Yeah. I'm with Miss Cooper on this one. Like, leave this door open.
Okay, so I'm the only one.
I already have a knocked up daughter. She got one knocked up daughter. Like, come on now.
But I think Betty's like she like she said, like episode 3 or 2, whatever. I am not Polly. I'll make my own decisions, but I won't make not the mistakes she made, but like I can see them, and I'm not gonna go down the same path. So. My name is Elizabeth Cooper.
As a mother, I still wouldn't trust it. Like, keep that door open, girl. I don't care.
But like, I think for some reason, I just think Jughead is like he's like the least likely person for some reason that like would just let's have sex on your bed. Like I think
that has not been portrayed to me in this show.
I think he's a little bit more respectful of Betty too. So like, I don't think he would do that. If he was gonna do it, it definitely would be at her house. It wouldn't be in the morning where he knows her mom's there. Like it would be somewhere private just for the two of them. If that was gonna be like some big
Teens,
thing.
hormones. I don't trust it.
Well, all right.
Doors open.
But the question is, does he keep his hat on?
Yes.
That's actually a good question. I'm not
He
sure.
is always king.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for this episode of the Riverdale After Show. I am no Ben Bateman, but I hope you've enjoyed my time here in the captain's seat. That beautiful drink of water will be back here next week guiding us. Until then, folks, thanks for liking us on Facebook. Give us those 5 stars on iTunes. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. And thanks, everybody, for hopping in the chat during the course of this episode. We'd love hearing your thoughts, speculations, and predictions. Now, if you want to continue the conversation with us even after the show's over, Joelle, where can they find you?
Hey guys, I'm Joelle Monique. You can find me all over the internet at Joelle Monique and every week at blackgirlnerds.com. Please join us Wednesdays at the Comic Book Exchange on Book Circle Online, where we talk comic books. You can check out last week's episode where we talk about Batgirl and what's hopefully coming up in Joss Whedon. It was really cool. I wasn't there, but Frank was, and he killed it. You can also check me out Wednesdays on AfterBuzz on Magicians, and then Powerless Thursdays with this lady.
Hi. Hey guys, I'm Chae Jones. You can find me at Real Chae Jones. You can find me Tuesdays at Bull on Tuesday nights. I'm with her on Thursdays, right before this at 6 o'clock, and we do Powerless, which is awesome. And I just started 13 Reasons Why, and guys, it's Fridays 11 a.m. and you need to tune in. Oh, we're also having a giveaway as well, which is like awesome. So if you want to know more about that, check us out tomorrow. And these guys have a special guest next week. I don't know if I can tell you, so I'll just
You can tell us.
We have Chuck, who was Jordan Calloway, who got exposed. He was exposed for doing the whole girl numbers points thing.
The maple syrup.
So in the hot tub. So he will be here, and if you have any questions, please put your comments below.
That's awesome. Look at that. I've just found out about that. Look at that.
Really?
Yes.
You didn't know?
I should go to the meetings more. That's what I really should do. Shouldn't I? I probably should. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Frank Moran. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at HappyGoJackie. Folks, thanks for joining us here for the Riverdale After Show. We'll see you back here next Thursday night with another new episode right here on AfterBuzz TV.
Bye,
I love you,
guys.
Ben Bateman.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.